Hello everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Today, I got a new vise. Not only did I get a new vise, I got a new slotting head. Now, these two came from the same guy that sold me my dividing head. They came from South Dakota, and they've been on the road for a minute. Now, both of these things are in fairly good shape for being over 60 years old. The slotting head doesn't have anything wrong with it. In fact, if you look at the ram, there's no real marks on it or anything, and it's pretty tight in there. So I'm very, very excited. Now the vise has some apprentice marks, but I'm not too worried about it. It's a 7-inch wide vise. It has the slots so that I can hold it in that configuration, which is very nice. The big reason why I wanted this vise was these deep coolant troughs. Those funnel the flood oil back to your machine very nicely. Back into the screen and into the T-slots. These things are super nice. The big reason why we don't use these vices anymore is if you have a small workpiece up high in the top half of the jaw, the whole jaw wants to lift, which sucks for a lot of work. But I didn't get this vise to do little work. I got this vise to do big work. So this vise, that's not going to be an issue with this vise. I don't think it is anyways. I'm mostly going to be milling larger forklift tine for die making, for doing forging dies and punch press dies, like the ones that I need to make for my bulldozer. Now the slotting head doesn't just make slots. It basically turns your machine into a vertical key seat machine. So this ram here will go up and down with a little tool, and you can do whatever you want with it. You can sit there and make a custom tool to make any shape you want. Most commonly they're used for internal keyways, which is probably what I'm going to be doing with it quite a bit. And you can also do internal hex, internal squares, internal triangles if you really want. This, in combination with this, can do a lot of work. Internal gears, internal splines, all sorts of stuff. You can do a lot of weird things. So I'm super excited to have this. I am going to have to tear this apart and clean it. And this here is the drive for the slotting head. And you might notice it's not very nice. It's all welded up, turned down. Someone gripped onto it and turned it down for some weird reason. I don't know why. It has a mark here. I'm thinking maybe this mark is where I would need to drill to put a pin in, because the back of this is driven by a pin, just a little dog that rotates the ram. So maybe, I don't know. It does fit. It does have all the features, and it does say for slotting head on the back of it. But I don't know. I'll have to think on that and how I want to use this. This is definitely shop made, not made by Kearney and Trecker. So, yeah, hopefully that works. I think this vise might have come out of Kearney and Trecker, the factory, because Department 655 and the same, at least it looks like the same font that Kearney and Trecker uses. So, I don't know. It might have come out of their factory. The vise itself, the coolant troughs and everything are in great shape, and that's nice. I am going to have to make a crane for the milling machine here soon, because this thing here is heavy enough. That vise is about as heavy as this guy is, and that is about as heavy as these two. Not combined, all three of these are about the same weight. Luckily, the universal head has a crane, and I can use that crane with the slotting head. The issue is I have to choose one or the other, and if I have to choose one of them, it's going to be that. That's far more useful to me than that. Or I guess I'm going to use that more than that. But it's okay. Now, Only issue I really have with this slotting head is the table right now is as low as it can go. So I only have from here to here between the table and the vise. And this is a pretty low profile vise. So that kind of sucks. But if I end up having to do really big work where I have to do slotting in something that's very large, this whole head actually tilts. So I can take this head and tilt it and either do internal work in the dividing head or do very large work, because your work envelope is pretty big whenever it's that way. Because you want to know what's obstructing it? Nothing. I just got to get that thing out of the way if I ever do work like that, which is not really a big issue. So I am extremely excited. My collection of Kearney and Trecker attachments is growing. It has officially doubled. Now all I need to find is a rotary table, a tailstock, and a low leads attachment. Tailstock for the dividing head. I'd like a 16-inch rotary table, and yeah, maybe even an egg-shaped vertical head, because that vertical head is very nice, but it doesn't like to take very heavy cuts. That being said, I have one question for you guys. Do you want to see a restoration video on this? Honestly, I don't really want to do a restoration video on it. I just want to take it apart, clean it up, and put it back together, because there's not a lot of parts to it. It's an extremely simple attachment, and if I were to do a video like that, I would rather do a video on that, because that is much more of a mystery to me than this is. And this, I just need to take it apart, clean it, put it back together. There's no real repair work, nothing like that. I will do a video on the gear, on the drive dog, but I don't know. Do you guys want to see that? Because that, I don't know. To me, that just feels boring. It's like doing a vice restoration. Some of them are good with entertaining people. Some of them I'm not really into. So, with that being said, please like and subscribe. Thank you for 300 subscribers, and have a good day.